right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, fellow Pandemonium travelers, this is Seattle Pandemonium Shutdown Day 299 by my count. Oh, it is New Year's Day, 1/1/2021. Can you believe it? Almost 300 days of pandemicking. 2020, the worst year on record, and boy are there records. Madness, mayhem, looting, and chaos all year long. Murder, impending economic doom, as foretold by, myself and others. We're not starting the year off on a good foot. It is not a good start to the year. I will say that. It has been absolute bedlam. And I know a lot of people are tired of it. When will a sense of normalcy return? Well, I see activist people saying, no, we don't want normalcy. We want progress. We want to change it. This is a great opportunity to build back better and all that. I find that kind of demented and creepy, but I get what you're saying. In this chaos, there's an opportunity to enact change. Okay, that's not what's happening in our government, by the way. Trump vetoed the NDAA for various reasons. Some probably legitimate, some probably just Trump doesn't like it. Too much money to spend or whatever. Or we're spending all that money on defense stuff instead of sending it on stimulus to get the American people through the crisis that was created by our own government. And China. I'm not saying it's all our fault. It's also China's fault. But the Senate blocked the president's veto, and the NDAA passes. And as people were saying, as I was saying, even a couple months ago, the elite establishment class are going to go to war. Okay? They're going to go to war because that's just what we do. Can I do a right on red? They got a sign says it's got a camera. I don't know. I'm not gonna do it. It's the last thing I need is a stupid ticket from some automated cop snapping a picture of my license plate and sending me a bill. Bastards. Let me get in this thing here. All the way over here. So what's going on? What's going down? We've got these elites. They do whatever they want. They want that. They want to get that Raytheon money, I guess. They want to. They got the global empire to maintain, and oh boy, are we going to be maintaining it. They can't even pull troops out of places. And as people have been saying, Biden's bringing war hawks into his cabinet. We're gonna be going to war again soon. That's what a lot of people are saying. I mean, it would be good for the economy, maybe, if we went and just steamrolled some poor African country or something. Not another quagmire like Iraq, Afghanistan, or something like that. I don't know, Morocco or something. We did Libya before for almost no reason, Anyways, these elites, man, it's like this New York City thing where they did the Times Square party, because they do the Times Square party every year, but of course this year they couldn't have the crowds, so they did they went through the motions. They did all the entertainers, the stars. Bill de Blasio danced with his wife on stage. It's just tense. See, it's Denny Park. Tense. That's Seattle for you. It's real. It's real, and it's here every day, and no one's talking about any meaningful solutions to any of this. that's our city council. That's our city. That's who we are. Not because I said so, just because that's how it is. There's not really another way to put it. But that de Blasio on stage dancing with his wife after he allowed his city to just collapse, get ransacked. It's just completely falling apart. Basic civil society has just come undone, and he's up there dancing with his wife on TV, celebrating the new year. It is enough to make it's like to say disgust isn't quite right. It's like there's no real polite way to put it, and there's no way to put it that probably wouldn't get me flagged by YouTube. I mean, just there needs to be consequences for this kind of insanity. And it includes like Mayor Durkin, it includes other members of our city council, it includes Governor Cuomo, Gavin Newsom. And here's the thing I'll repeat because I'm told it's true. When earlier in the year, when Gavin Newsom, like Governor of California, locked down his state, guess where he was? The Bitterroot Valley in Montana, where his wife owns property, I'm told. And people saw him around the area where things were like kind of locked down. You know, it was like Montana was still a little bit open, more so than other places like California, which is why he didn't want to be there, which is why he took his corrupt ass to the free zone, while the rest of his people in his state were having to play Anne Frank at home. It is infuriating. And then he goes out to a stupid restaurant with a bunch of doctors, not outside, not socially distanced, violating the group size and all this. They got closed indoors, and it's some super fancy, expensive, per plate kind of dinner. And something that 2020 taught us is the truly stark difference between us and them, between the elites and us, normal people. You can't open your restaurant, you can't go eat at a restaurant, it's too dangerous, but we'll do that. You can't go shopping at a small store, but you can go to Costco, you can go to Walmart, while they import more cheap Chinese-made goods and pay their workers trash. It is true. And they don't give them benefits. It's true. And it's just stark. It's just so clear now. Like, I wonder about actual social mobility in terms of like class in America anymore. It seems like there's a handful of people that manage to make it, and they can be like new money, right? But even like Bill Gates wasn't exactly new money. Like, his parents were wealthy. He went to, did he go to Harvard or something? And then dropped out and then went and did computer stuff. But like that's not social mobility. That's just a dude was smart and, leveraged his assets and created a business, and Microsoft became part of history. I'm talking about rags to riches. I'm talking about I don't know, some rappers, some actors, some, musicians, they make it, they claw their way up. I don't know, Insane Clown Posse or something, maybe, I don't know, Eminem, right? They come from basically nothing and they go get all the way to the top. But there's not that many of them. And that's not a guy starting a hot dog truck and then turning it into like a Starbucks level world franchise. I mean, that happens. I mean, even Jeff Bezos comes from money. He borrowed a big chunk of money from his family, so he didn't really come from like rags to riches. And so it seems as though there's a multi-tiered, there's at least a 2-tiered system that governs life in our maybe Western culture. Maybe it's the whole world. At least it's just America. I hate to be all bleak. Maybe it's just because it's raining and crummy out, but there's a little ray of sunshine as I thought that this motorcycle shop over here. Speaking of motorcycle, see that place that's boarded up there under the red sign? That's been a what you call it? It's been a motorcycle shop for as long as I can remember, and then it was boarded up. I thought it was closed down, because like maybe it got looted and business is terrible. But I think they moved into a more bigger space just down the way there. I think they moved into a better spot actually. So that's good. And I thought it was gone, and it's like, oh, maybe it's getting by, maybe it's surviving. Not that there's anywhere to ride your motorcycle to. I mean, wherever that guy's going. So I'm going to take a little detour here because I need to investigate this closer. So I want to see closer because road closed. Really? You can't drive around Green Lake? So here we go. Got tents taken over. Tents taken over part of Green Lake. Green Lake Park. There it is. There it is. Rigging it up. I mean, get yourselves out of the elements, I suppose. I'm assuming that these RVs are basically like meth wagons. Yeah, kind of looks like it. Just shack, favela. I mean, maybe they're not. Kind of look like they are, though. Just tents, RVs, vans, people living in them. Technically, it's a domicile, right? There's another one up here. So we've been on I've been in upside down world this week. We're going to go back to normal next week. Well, some reasonable facsimile of normal in the current era. Go. So that wraps up this week. We end the week on the first day of the new year. And we had holidays on 2 Fridays. There's a relatively newer one. I haven't seen that one until recently. I want to show you guys that one. So, Happy New Year, everyone. We're getting it started off. I don't know if we're getting it started off right, wrong. I think I have a resolution, though. It's something of a resolution. And it's to keep in mind or take advantage of the fact that that we live in an emergent universe. Now, this might get hippy dippy, but try to stick with me. That kind of rhyme. We live in an emergent universe. That is to say that the universe does in fact change from moment to day. Bro, God, sometimes these homeless dudes are just so rough looking. It's like they don't even look like a person. It's like some kind of creature. I don't want to dehumanize them. God, man. We live in an emergent universe. It's changing from moment to moment in the eternal moment we call now. It's changing. The universe is continuing to become. I know this sounds a little energy crystal, but just bear with me. An emergent universe has dynamic properties to it. And we seize upon these dynamic properties when we want to, basically when we want to enact change. When we see an opportunity to benefit ourselves, we tend to do things. Now, we balance this against a sort of greater sense of cultural, social, order. We route this through our own personal, ethos, right? What we're supposed to do, what we're not supposed to do, what's considered virtuous to do, how much you should share. Should you share the knowledge you have of the exploit in the universe, with someone else? But the emergent universe is very powerful in the sense that no one necessarily knows what's going to happen from one moment to the next. Now, there are definitely patterns that are quite pervasive in this, in a variety of different ways. A bunch of patterns that are quite persistent, in fact. And history is the story of us leveraging what we know in order to get the things we want, and the people who are really good at it attain power and glory and shape the world. Now, to not sound too Machiavellian, this is just something that you have to do, I think. I think we naturally do it. I don't think you have to try necessarily. I think it just sort of happens. But what we're constantly, as individual people in an emergent universe, we are emergent beings ourselves. We are changing. You are different now than you were a week ago, than you were a year ago. At least I hope so. So if you need any kind of positivity to come out for, starting the new year, think of it in those terms. Think of living in a dynamic universe that is malleable. The world is malleable. We can split the atom, kids. We can go to other planets and drive remote control cars around and stuff. You can kick your addictions. You can form better habits. You can reconnect with people you cared about in the past who cared about you. Maybe you fell out, You can learn a new skill. I constantly am kind of pessimistic about that myself, but I have in the past, so I can in the future. Something kind of Mr. Rogers like that. Something to kind of just stick that in your gray matter, let that roll around a little bit, All right. That's enough disposable fortune cookie horseshit from me. Happy Friday. Happy New Year, everyone.